and welcome back to the Toast of Nate. My name is Nate, this is Scully, and these are my loud-ass neighbors. Well, I'm sure they'll be along shortly. They're always up to something. As always, if you were new here, two things I would like to say. One, I really hope you enjoy this video, and two, if you do enjoy this video, please make sure you subscribe and ring the bell to be notified for all future videos that we put out here. Also, you can find us on Facebook, like us there, and share the videos as well. Get those out to all your friends and family and anybody you think that might enjoy them. Also, follow us on Instagram. Gonna start posting some really cool stuff on there. I want to remind you that we are also on Podbean. So again, if you don't want to look at me and you still want to get this content, you can find our podcast there on Podbean as well. I want to play a little game right now called the Ketchup Game, and it's really sad that I have to say this, but until about a month ago, I had never watched Game of Thrones. Now, over the past month, I have been watching it vigorously. I've made it to season 4, and for everyone that has watched Game of Thrones, when I got to season 3, episode 9, holy that was some of the craziest stuff I have ever seen. It was I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen Game of Thrones, but if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, check it out. It's crazy. I didn't think I would like it to begin with, but good God, it's crazy show. Okay, so we're gonna move on now to the main topic of today's video, and it's something I kind of want to start doing a little bit. Songs that I love, songs that I don't know. Make sure you send me suggestions for this. This is going to be lyric breakdown. Okay, for today's lyric breakdown, we are going to be doing one of my favorite songs ever. This is Billy Joel's Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. And this is off the 1977 album The Stranger. One cool thing to note, it's basically 3 parts molded into one song. It changes tempo, it changes feel throughout the song. I'm gonna make sure to put a link in the description for the song so you can go check it out there. We're gonna get into the lyrics right now, so let's go. Okay, the opening lines are a bottle of white, a bottle of red, perhaps a bottle of rosé instead. Obviously referring to wine. We'll get a table near the street in our old familiar place, you and I face to face. So it sounds like already that he's setting up a meeting with an old friend, it seems, at a place that they used to hang out, presumably the Italian restaurant. He goes on to say a bottle of red, a bottle of white. It all depends upon your appetite. Meaning, whichever kind you want. I'll meet you anytime you want at our Italian restaurant. So yeah, he's going to the meeting of someone, one of his old friends, presumably at the Italian restaurant. This is one part where it starts changing the feel. It goes to like this more of an upbeat kind of song here, and he goes on to say in the first lines here, things are okay with me these days, got a good job, got a good office, I got a new wife, got a new life, and the family is fine. So it seems like now he's sitting down with his old friend at the restaurant, and he's saying, things are going great, He's said got a good job, a new wife. I don't know if he was divorced or what, if he just got a new wife, or don't know. I don't think it really gets into that, but got a new life. So that line right there, and the family is fine. Okay, that closes it out. But the got a new life line, to me, this seems like, you know, the Billy Joel, I guess the main character of this story. He was living in this town, and he left. He didn't have any contact with anybody. He got a new life, pretty much. He built him a new life somewhere else. And let's see, he goes on saying, we lost touch long ago. You lost weight. I did not know you could ever look so nice after so much time. Okay, so from there, we lost touch long ago. You lost weight. I did not know you could ever look so nice after so much time. So this is the part where it kind of makes me, kind of looks like he's talking to maybe an old flame or something like that. Maybe an old girlfriend or something like that. Maybe just an old friend that happens to be a girl. I did not know you could ever look so nice after so much time. Scully, what do you think? Yeah, that's right. Do you remember those days hanging out at the village green? Engineer boots, leather jackets, and tight blue jeans. Drop a dime in the box, play the song about New Orleans. Cold beer, hot lights, my sweet romantic teenage nights. Yeah, so right here he starts, you know, he's asking, I guess now it's kind of confirmed that he's talking with maybe an old flame of his, asking, you remember when we were, you know, we were all dressed up, we were in the bar, maybe in the club, and we were playing the songs on the jukebox, you know, having a good time in the summer nights, and you know, getting romantic and all. There they are. Hey there. But getting romantic, you know. And then right here is another part where it changes the feel of the song. And this is where we kind of get like a main story, like the main, what's going to carry us pretty much throughout the song. And I really want to get in the lyrics here. It says, Brenda and Eddie were the popular steadies and the king and the queen of the prom, riding around with the car top down and the radio on. Nobody looked any finer or was more of a hit at the Parkway Diner. Okay, I'm going to stop right there before I go too much, because that's a lot. We never knew we could want more than that out of life. Charlotte, Brenda, and Eddie would always know how to survive. So Brenda and Eddie were basically the top dogs, I guess, of maybe their high school or whatever, riding around with the car top down and the radio on. Nobody looked any finer or was more of a hit at the Parkway Diner. So it seems like these were the most popular kids, king and the queen of the prom. Seems like, you know, everybody looked up to them and wanted to be them. They never knew they could want more than that out of life. Surely Brenda and Eddie would know how to survive, because they're top tier. They're the big gang right there. Brenda and Eddie were still going steady in the summer of '75 when they decided the marriage would be in the end of July. So now Brenda and Eddie are going to be getting married, and everyone said they were crazy. Brenda, you know, you're much too lazy, and Eddie could never afford to live that kind of life. So it seems to me like with that, but there we were waving Brenda and Eddie goodbye. So they, no matter what the people told them, they decided to do it anyway. So Brenda's too lazy, and Eddie could never afford to live that kind of life. So that seems like Brenda is, you know, your typical preppy girl, I guess. Nowadays she would be your preppy girl. She never had to work for anything or never really do anything. And poor old Eddie, he just can't afford to live that kind of life, I guess. He don't have the money to, you know, support Brenda not doing a damn thing, if you know. know that, especially, you know, if you put the song in context of nowadays, you really can't. Eddie really couldn't afford to live that kind of life, but they decided to get married anyway, and there we were, waving Brenda and Eddie goodbye. They got an apartment with deep pile carpet and a couple of paintings from Sears, a big water bed they bought with the bread they had saved for a couple of years. Okay, so they got their own apartment, got carpet, paintings from Sears, water bed. They started to fight when the money got tight, and they just didn't count on the tears. So it seems like, you know, having to adjust to living together as a married couple, they're experiencing the struggle of not having as much money as maybe they did when they were just in high school and just dating, you know, with parent support and stuff like that maybe. And because of that, they started fighting. They didn't have very much money, and I guess stress got on them. They didn't count on the tears. They didn't count on it being this hard to live together and to be together. They lived for a while in a very nice style, but it's always the same in the end. They got a divorce as a matter of course, and they parted the closest of friends. The king and the queen went back to the green, but you can never go back there again. Okay, so they got a divorce, but it's always the same. And yep, they couldn't stop fighting, I guess. You know, they decided, you know, we're just gonna we can't do it anymore. So it looks like they staged friends. And now see, this is where it kind of gets interesting to me. They got a divorce as a matter of course, and they parted the closest of friends. So that right there is kind of an indicator to me that maybe the main storyteller at the beginning, who was like, "I'll meet you anytime you want" at our Italian restaurant, maybe that is Eddie, and he's inviting Brenda to the Italian restaurant, and they're sitting down for a while because they haven't seen each other in a while. And this is maybe basically a narrator narrating what all happened through maybe like the eyes of a friend or something. But this is Brenda and Eddie's story essentially. If we go back to the very the second part where it kind of transitions for the second time, it says got a good job, got a good office, I got a new wife, got a new life, and the family is fine. You know, they lost touch long ago is what it says in the second transition part. And so that kind of puts it a little more in perspective for me, that maybe this whole story was started by Eddie talking to Brenda at the Italian restaurant. And I think that's really Billy Joel just has amazing songwriting. Like this is really, again, make sure that you go to the link in the description and check out the whole song, because me just reading the lyrics don't do it justice. But I really wanted to dive into this because this is just really good songwriting ship, if that's a word. They tried to go, the king and the queen went back to the green, but you can never go back there again. I guess they tried to go back to their hometown after, or they tried to go back to hanging out together, or go back to everything being good. But I guess you really can't go back after being married to someone, and it's real hard to remain friends after that. And I'm sure it is. Brenda and Eddie had it already by the summer of '75. Damn. So they didn't even stay married long. See, they got married at the end of July in '75, and they didn't even last the summer of '75. That sounds like some shit right there. from the high to the low to the end of the show for the rest of their lives. From the high to the low to the end of the show. They couldn't go back to the greasers. The best they could do was pick up their pieces. We always knew they would both find a way to get by. That's all I heard about Brenda and Eddie. Can't tell you more because I told you already. And here we are waving Brenda and Eddie goodbye. So right there, that's basically they couldn't go back to their group of friends and all that. You know, they had moved on. They had already done their life. The best that they could do was pick up their pieces and move on. We always knew they would both find a way to get by. That's all I heard about Brenda and Eddie. Meaning that was the end of their story. You know, they parted ways and moved on, and that was the end of their story. Here we are waving Brenda and Eddie goodbye. And then it transitions right back to the very first part of the song. A bottle of red, a bottle of white, whatever kind of mood you're in tonight. I'll meet you anytime you want in our Italian restaurant. Just putting it basically like reprising the beginning and bringing it all into a perspective. This song is about two people from the very beginning. Brenda is invited to the Italian restaurant by Eddie, and they just want to talk. I guess maybe I don't know the whole situation. I guess maybe one of them's, or they're in town, or he's just trying to see her again. I don't know, but you know, they get together, and I guess Eddie's telling her, you know, things are going good for me. Life is good. Got a new wife, got a new life, and the family's fine. You lost weight. I did not know you could ever look so nice after so much time. So, dude's even hitting on her now, you know. Maybe a little something more than Italian sausages being served tonight at the Italian restaurant. Wink, wink. Goes back to, you know, just talking about the good old days, you know. Talking about an old relationship that was once had that didn't work out. And, you know, it's good to see someone after a long time. So, I mean, this really is, Billy Joel is just an amazing songwriter. I love Billy Joel. He's one of my favorite artists ever. Just such a great song. Again, make sure you check this song out. Link will be in the description below. And that is it for this week's lyric breakdown. I hope you all enjoyed it. You know, I know it's not the same as having the song in the background, but you know, copyright and all that, I don't really feel like going through all of that. So make sure again that you check the song out, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, Ow, by Billy Joel. So check that out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell down below, please, to be notified of all of our future videos. This week we are proud to say that we have a second video. I know I've already promised that one time due to conflicts with audio and technical equipment and all this other crap. That one couldn't be done. But we are bringing you finally a second video this week, so make sure that you check that out. Make sure you go to Facebook, like us there, Instagram, follow us there. And as always, I'm Nate. This is the Toast of Nate. Remember, stay golden. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out!